What's up, Facebook? Ty Crandall with Credit Suite here. Today, we're headed to the chalkboard, and we're going to be talking about doing business as, otherwise known as DBAs. A lot of people have questions recently about DBAs, when to use them, how to use them, what they're used for, the benefits of them, what they do, what they are, and we're going to dive into all those today. We're going to decode DBAs. We're going to talk about what DBAs are, the benefits they provide, different scenarios you may choose to use a DBA, and everything else you need to know. Plus, I'm going to be here live to answer any questions that you have relating to DBAs. So let's head to the chalkboard. Check it out. So today, diving into DBAs, doing business as, everything you need to know. We're going to decode here with DBAs. What it is, how it works, the benefits of a DBA, why you'd want a DBA, what a DBA will do for you, things you need to know that most people don't know about DBAs. We're going to decode this whole thing. So what is a DBA? Well, a DBA is good for a lot of businesses. It's very popular for sole proprietors for many different reasons we're going to talk about today. It's also very popular for businesses that want, Lamar, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in. It's also very popular for businesses that want to do business under multiple names, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Veronica, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. So DBA stands for doing business as. It's also called a fictitious name filing, or fictitious name affidavit is sometimes what you'll actually be referring to it as. Erica, good morning. Jerome, thanks for coming in. So DBA, doing business as, good for sole proprietors, also good for people that want to use multiple business names under one umbrella. Marquise, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So it keeps the company's name for being the same as your name for a sole proprietor. So in my mind, there's two main things here that we're going to talk about. We're going to decode both of them. There's the scenario where you're a sole proprietorship, and DBAs are really big there. And the second main scenario is if you want to use different company names under one umbrella. So we're going to talk about both of these a little bit more in their entirety. So when we talk about a DBA for a sole proprietorship, well, the benefit is that it keeps the company name from being separate, being your name. So sole proprietorship, you are the business, so your name is the business. But with a DBA, you could be a sole proprietor, you could be the business, and you could have any business name you want to be the doing business as name, and then that way it keeps the company name from being the same as your name. Tamika, welcome, good morning. Another benefit of this is that you can only choose a company name once in one state. So what I mean by that is our name is Credit Suite. We are registered here in Florida. You could open up a Credit Suite brand in any of the other 49 states, but you can't open up another business with the same name here in Florida. You can't do that with any state. So any name you choose for your business, you can only have one business with that name in the state you're registering, no matter what state you're in. But a doing business as can actually let you bypass that. So for example, if you wanted to do business as, if there's a name you really want to get, but somebody owns it in your state, you could choose that as a DBA, and you can have it as a DBA even if somebody else already has got the name in the state. So another benefit of DBAs, but you have to be careful. My advice is never choose a business name unless the domain is available, unless a lot of other people aren't using it. Otherwise, you're going to have more problems down the road than you account for. But again, a great piece of advice, because a few different ways to use DBAs. One, you're a sole proprietor. You don't want to do business in your name. You want a front-facing brand name. Two, maybe somebody took your name in your state. You choose a DBA. Or three, you have multiple businesses under one umbrella. Lamar, is it advisable to use a DBA with an LLC? You could use a DBA with any entity. Like I said, they're very popular with sole proprietorship to keep the company name from being separate from you as the business owner. With LLCs, with corporations, with these others, they're more popular because people want to create and do many businesses under one umbrella. So usually people that are choosing LLCs or corporations that want DBAs want it for this reason, because they want to operate many businesses or brands at once under one umbrella. So the credit reporting agencies, the IRAs, the creditors know you and the business are separate when you choose a DBA, which helps you because, again, if you're a sole proprietorship, you are the business. Your name is the business. So by using a DBA, you can actually keep your name separate from the business name, and you're also with bank accounts, with CRAs, with the IRS, you're separating that as well. So why a DBA? Well, again, because, using a DBA tells the public the company name versus just personally your personal name being out there, which a lot of people just don't want. It's better for taxes. It's better for business credit building. It's better for bank accounts. Using your own personal name has a lot of problems as your business. And sole proprietors, that's what happens. So putting your name out there makes it harder to get a bank account if your business name is your name. It's better for taxes, business credit, a lot to have a real company name. But if you're a sole proprietorship, you don't get that luxury, which is why a lot of people choose DBAs. Now, a lot of benefits in choosing a DBA. It's a simple, cheap way to use a business name if you don't want to pay for it. So, for example, and Daryl, hello, thanks for coming in. In Florida, it's cheap to start a business. You can own a business here for $70 to register the business, $70. In California, it's $600-$700 to set up a business. So what I find, which was surprising to me that I've learned through the years, is a lot of people choose a sole proprietor. They choose a DBA because they can't afford to set up a corporation or an LLC in expensive states like California. So this is a huge benefit of using a DBA if you're in an expensive state. If you're in a state like Florida, just file an LLC, just set up a corporation. It's better for business credit building. It's better for liability. It's better for everything. But if you're in a state like California where it's $600-$700 to set up an entity, well, then in a lot of cases, people will go with a choice of being a sole proprietorship and then choose a DBA. So again, that's another huge benefit here, is because it's a simple, cheap way to use your business name without paying in those expensive states where you may need to. Now, your name can't use the word incorporated, corp, any of these type of things if you're not a real corporation. So some things to know about, okay? Again, some businesses, industries, entities will even want you to file a DBA for some level of protection and separation. It's even suggested that you actually do that. Your bank may want you to use a DBA to actually open a bank account. Clients, it's good for them to see a DBA or to see a company name on contracts versus a sole proprietor. So a lot of reasons here. So a lot of benefits, because again, as a sole proprietor, you as the business are the owner. The name is all the same. And of course, the owner is the one that gets the profits, the debts, the losses. This is why I don't like sole proprietors, because you and the business are one and the same. The business gets sued, you get sued, but at least with a DBA, you have some layer of separation here, at least front-facing public from what they see. So the IRS, the DBA is an extension of the sole proprietor. It's a DBA of your actual name, which is the business name. And again, in a case like this, if you want to build business credit with a sole proprietor, you don't even need an EIN, right? You can get an LLC as sole proprietor without even getting an EIN. So, but again, if you want to build business credit, these type of things, if you want a real business, you need to get an EIN, but just some things to keep in mind. So again, separation of consumer and business credit. It's important. We've talked about it before. But again, if you're using a DBA, it's not going to do this. You have to have that EIN to ever create it. You're going to have to set up a real entity to build business credit. So just something to know about that. But if you are a sole proprietor, at least this adds some legitimacy. So this is a really easy and simple and cheap way to register a business. In some states where it's more expensive and more difficult, in other states like Florida and Texas, it's pretty simple. But this is one of the biggest reasons that I see people choose DBAs. They want to operate many businesses under one umbrella. They want to do many brands or many businesses at once. Okay, and in doing so, a DBA actually lets them do this. So this is one of the biggest reasons that we see people come in and do it, because they're building multiple business names all under one umbrella. And that's good for contracts, for leases, for anything else you want to do. So let me give you an example. We are a credit suite, and we have a software product called the Business Finance Suite. Well, we would never want to create a separate company for Business Finance Suite, because then we have to pay taxes twice. We have to do everything twice, right? But we have that brand out there. We have a businessfinancesuite.com. We have a Facebook page and a Twitter account and all the social media for that. And we do it as a DBA. So that allows us to only pay taxes and manage one entity, one corporation, but then we have multiple DBAs or brands under the one corporation. So again, the most common reasons people use a DBA: you're a sole proprietor, maybe you're in California, it's expensive, you use a DBA so your name isn't the business name that customers, banks, lenders, everybody sees. But the other most popular and most common are people like us that want to do business under multiple brand names without creating multiple different companies. I get this question a lot. People say, look, what should I do? I'm offering business credit as a service. I'm an attorney, I'm an accountant, I'm a credit repair company as my other business. Do I open up another business to do this or a DBA? Well, my advice is do a DBA, because when you run multiple businesses, that's multiple set of books you have to run. It's multiple tax returns you have to file. It's a nightmare. And taxes alone, or let me give you an example. Annual reports in Florida, which you must file every year, are $400 per entity that you own. So if you wanted to create another brand to do business under, then the problem with that is that you'd have to pay $400 a year for annual reports. You'd have to pay hundreds of dollars for taxes. Just tax time. You'd have to spend about $500 to $1,000 to manage different entities. Then you'd have to build business credit for every entity. The revenue for all that would count as different entities. There's all kinds of problems. So doing it under one entity makes it simple. So we are Credit Suite. We have a brand business finance suite. Well, we have everything funnel through one company that allows us to file taxes under one business, file annual reports under one business, only manage one entity, manage one business. And then we can choose as many DBAs as we want. So even though as a software company, Business Finance Suite is our software, as we roll out more different kinds of software with more names, then all of those will come under the Credit Suite umbrella. It allows us to do business as multiple names without going through the nightmare headache and cost of managing multiple entities. So that's one of the best reasons I think people should use DBAs, and it's a brilliant way to do it without managing that cost. Now, AD says, but you don't have to get a DBA for extra services that you offer as long as under the main company name, correct? Of course not. You absolutely don't need to. But if you want to manage different names, so let's say in our case that you have a product that you want to have its own name. You want to create a Facebook page for it and a Twitter account for it and have its own website. It almost looks like you have two companies, but you can do it with a DBA without having two companies and the nightmare that comes with managing two sets of books, two sets of taxes, two sets of annual reports, etc. But of course, you can roll out as many products as you want under your name. You don't even have to put a brand name and build a brand under it. But if you want to build multiple brands under one entity umbrella, that's where DBAs, in my experience, provide the most benefit. Faith, can you conglomerate company use your name? Example, if Holy Global Connections, DBA Footprints Credit Solution. Okay, can your conglomerate company use your name? Example, I think I understand your question, and the answer there is yes, you absolutely can. If you have a DBA, you can use it however you want to. So you can put out there, so for example, we may put out there, which we never would because our partners sell the Business Finance Suite. That's a neutral brand that we make sure separate from us. But if we wanted to say Business Finance Suite powered by Credit Suite, we could. If we wanted to come in and say Credit Suite DBA Business Finance Suite, we could. We can do any of those things. So yes, you absolutely can do that if you want to. So when we look at DBA in summary, DBAs are really, again, doing business as. You also see this basically as a fictitious name filing is what it's referred to. They're cheap and very easy to set up directly with your Secretary of State is where you'll go. Who uses them? Two main reasons I see. A third one I'm going to throw in. Sole proprietors, where your name is the same as your business name. Well, that actually keeps your name separate. You can create a DBA, have a separate company name without setting up a separate entity. The other huge benefit I see is operating many businesses or many business brands under one actual umbrella. This lets you actually have all of them under one umbrella and create some kind of separation. Now again, a ton of benefits in states like California where it's expensive. You can choose DBAs to have a cheap way to set up a business without paying to actually get your EIN and set up and your entity set up. To get your EIN and entity set up. But keep in mind, if you are a sole proprietorship, you don't need to get an EIN, but if you don't get an EIN, you could never build business credit because business credit's built under that EIN number. So I can go on and on, but not really. There's not a lot to know about DBAs. They're doing business as, they're fictitious name affidavit. You're typically going to use them if you're a sole proprietorship, so you can keep your personal name and business name somewhat separate for bank accounts, for the credit reporting agencies, for lenders, etc. The other option is that maybe you're going to come in and do doing business as to actually come in and create some kind of separation where you can have many businesses or brands under one umbrella. Another is maybe you're in a state where it's expensive like California to set up an entity. This is a cheap alternative solution to that. Maybe you're in a state where somebody else already has the business name that you want. And then what you want to do is you get a DBA instead with that business name, because in a state, only one business can be registered under the same name. So that would be another reason that you'd want to do it as well. So some here. Billy, what's up, Billy? How are you doing? Can I apply for a credit card for each DBA using one inquiry if I apply at the same time? You can't. If you're talking about business and inquiries on business credit reports, you can't, because remember, business credit reports are built under an EIN number. So if you have one entity and one EIN and multiple DBAs, then all of the business you apply for under that EIN number will count as an inquiry under that one credit report that's linked to the EIN number. So remember, business credit reports are basically linked to a business name and location. So if you have a business name and location that's separate from your primary, they may populate multiple reports, but it's all built under one EIN. So that's why if you're going to have inquiries, they're going to report under the main company's EIN, because again, you have business credit reports linked to that EIN, not linked to the DBA. But great question. Under DBA, can you have an EIN for each? You can't. You can only have an EIN for an entity, not for a DBA. The IRS will require an entity be set up first before giving you an EIN. They will not give you an EIN based on a DBA. It's only based on an actual entity. AD, I got a DBA to reserve the name while I was filing for my LLC. Again, good way to go, but your DBA in most states, or all states that I know of, the DBA won't reserve the name. If you choose a DBA, that name still becomes available out there, meaning that you can still come in and somebody could still have grabbed that as their entity name other than a DBA. It's one of the benefits of why people use DBAs. Tamika says, thank you. Okay, so guys, look, if you have any questions along the way as you're building business credit, give us a ring, 877-600-2487. creditsuite.com/get funding if you're looking for funding. We've also got a great guide here at creditsuite.com/Facebook. And I don't talk about this a lot, but every week I do a text training tip that's only available by text. If you text the word tips to 855-982-1820. Guys, I don't blow up your phone. I do one video text training tip of 2 to 5 minutes every week, and it covers topics just like this that I don't usually cover anywhere other than text training tips. So if you want those, then just text the word tips to 855-982-1820. You'll get a tip from me every week, every 7 days apart, with a 2 to 5 minute video with this kind of quick tip. So in 2 to 5 minutes, you can learn something about getting business credit financing, etc. that you didn't know. If you missed any of this, then go back to Facebook, facebook.com/credit suite, and you'll see us review everything you need to know about DBAs. It is indefinitely on Facebook, so you can go to our page and access this live stream and all other live streams as well. I will not see you next Thursday. I will be in San Diego for Traffic and Conversion, Digital Marketers Conference, and Social Media Marketing World, which is really, it looks like a cool event to go to. And I'll fill you in on both of them when I get back the following week. So I'll be back in 2 weeks, Thursday, 11 o'clock Eastern Time here on Facebook Live. And if you miss this in its entirety, go back to our Facebook page, facebook.com/credit suite, and you can watch this video in its entirety. I know I will miss you all next week. I don't usually miss live streams unless I'm out of town, but now it's coming into event time, so I'll be heading out of town for a bunch of events, whether we're attending, hosting, presenting. But the great news is to check our Facebook page out. Over the next few months, we're going to be in a lot of different states across the country. Come and see us. We're going to be, next month, we're going to be with Renatus out in Utah presenting. We'll be the following month at GKIC here in Orlando. We'll be out on the Credit Cruise in June. We'll be out in California in May speaking. So check out our Facebook page and come and see us live. We're all over the country here in the months to come, and we look forward to doing it. Look forward to seeing you. Don't forget to grab your free guide at facebook.com, creditsuite.com/Facebook. And don't forget to check out facebook.com/creditsuite to watch this video in its entirety. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in 2 weeks live here on Facebook at 11 o'clock Eastern. Have a great day.